Greetings from Springfield, Missouri. This is Vodi Stasnoa signing on during an FM radio distance event. I still am not sure what I have on any of these stations, but I have been able to make the determination that it is distant, and what's playing Smooth Criminal by Alien Ant Farm, I suspect is from Atlantic, Canada, possibly Newfoundland, St. John's, Newfoundland or Labrador, possibly Prince Edward Island, somewhere up there. We've heard lots of suspected French on here. And it's battling other, what I suspect is French.
Comme ça, je suis une personnalité très timide. Mais plus de classiques. C'est quoi du énergie. C'est ton côté. Kevin Tremblay, qui fait le tour avec sa nouvelle série de montée, puis sa blonde.
Yeah, this is definitely French.
Comme en hiver, fait le tour de la planète à l'endroit par à l'envers. Je peux pas dire.
Battling another, what sounds like a French one. Well, let's see if we can get a French ID. It's really close to IDing. Well, let's check out another frequency here. Definitely have distant ones battling here. This one's a tough one to pin down because there are so many stations coming in. There's so much battling, which is a good problem to have because it means it's an Let's go to 93.5. That was a meaty one earlier. A meaty frequency. Chock full of distance ones. Okay, back to 94.3.
À 46. On contrôle pas. Dans ma jacuzzi, ma vie a changé. Jacuzzi, je mange des onion rings dans ma jacuzzi. Chaque jour c'est Noël, puis je paye pour le avec le putain comme les femmes que j'aime. Ma jacuzzi est tous les fois plus douce. Y'a de la place dans mon jacuzzi. Voulez-vous aller dans mon jacuzzi?
I'm just trying to let it speak for itself right now. This is just truly incredible. And my hand is getting very tired. I'm going to dare hook up to the tomato cage, which is actually a lot better for getting Jefferson City, which may make it tougher to get these. It may make it easier. I don't know. Let's see what I can get on the tomato cage. I can get them on the tomato cage. Let's play a couple other frequencies. Yeah, you could hear 94.3 Cat Country. That's Jeff City, Missouri. Anything still breaking through on 94.1. Here we go. Two beyond suspected mega distance ones battling. It's the nearest. There is no near pop, even semi-near pop station on 96.7 that I even know of.
That's pretty sweet. $1 minute. Questions, please. 1 minute.
Play another frequency. Here's that classical still. The strongest yet.
bang and her piece. You just heard the movement of Willens Sonata 1 with pianist Carissa Papaschak and pianist Philip. I'm Julie Nasrallah, and you're listening to Tempo on CBC Music. Here's a piece that wants you to imagine.
So we know this is a Canadian broadcast system feed that's on here.
Now you're about to hear the Mississippi River Suite by Florence Price, which begins with a snapshot of dawn along
that
the
is really
riverbank
something.
and some gentle bird song.
This
Because
is
it's nice and quiet first thing in the morning on the Mississippi until you approach New Orleans.
Got to take a picture, take a screenshot of that. Screenshot of that. A tuner ID. The Tempo program. CBC Music. And 94.1 somewhere suspected up in Atlantic Canada somewhere. That's where I'm suspecting. 94.
La première appart? Oh, le plancher, c'est pas à niveau. Scott de pas non plus, j'ai entendu. Ouais, il n'y a pas grand-chose à niveau ici.
Ben, allez, bel Internet pure fibre.
Ah! Faire de quoi pour ton plancher?
ID trying to come through
Internet de haut niveau avec obtenez des vitesses
on this
de 500
94.3.
mégabits par seconde pour 70$ par mois. Offre d'une durée limitée. Visitez belle.ca pour plus de détails et pour
Has the carryover from the 94.1. But look at that, using the comma instead of the periods for 94.3. That is a French thing to do.
Dès aujourd'hui. Hey, on se fait-tu un petit saut de mouton ce week-end? Un quoi? Mais mouton maintenant? Non, saut de mouton. Rapide de la Chine. Tu sais, celui où tu cries. Tu fais arroser un peu. Hors de monde. Attends, mais c'est pour les casse-coups. Les groupes, collègues, on peut y aller à 2 ou à 100. Montréal, l'activité estivale par excellence de Montréal. Groupe, team building, sensations fortes et fou rire garantis. Réserve maintenant et viens sauter dans les rapides.
Envie de transformer votre espace extérieur? Depuis plus de 65 ans, l'Aniel Prodamex vous offre des produits de
Plastic Classic. I finally got a station name. We're much closer to being able to look this up when we're done and get an actual location.
Plus de classiques.
Non moins. 30 secondes.
Énergie.
Quand t'arrives pas à dormir et tu te rends compte qu'il est 3 heures du matin. Quand tu trouves un matelas confortable à 599
The Plastic Classic is the name of the station.
ta première bonne nuit de sommeil.
94,3. It's like
Comme le Valet-Vague à 599
I'm hoping that 94,3 comes back on there.
pour votre chambre. Visitez un magasin IKEA près de chez vous.
Vous voulez un été sharp, affronter la qualité. Sharp Mini Dunk. Ce sont les plus performants. Et ils sont admissibles.
We're losing them, and another one is trying to take over. Here we go, it's coming back now. And on to Van Halen's Jump. That would be a classic. Okay, let's go back to that 96.7. That one was amazing. You could just get one of them in for an ID. Of course, I prefer the audio IDs. I'm a traditionalist in that way. But a tuner ID if that's all I can get. Okay, the night moves may possibly be KCMQ, Columbia, Missouri. But the two light pop ones were elsewhere. Let's try all the way up here. I had something in suspected French up here.
Pas de peindre votre maison. En une seule journée, donnez une toute nouvelle finition d'usine à vos revêtements, briques, portes et fenêtres. Prémettez votre maison aujourd'hui et économisez jusqu'à 75% des coûts de remplacement.
Votre fréquence musicale au travail.
102.7 Rouge. Life's like this.
Wish I knew the French.
That's the way it is. Life's like this.
I've never heard this mix. Stable one. That could just be a Spirit FM from central to northern Missouri on 103.5. Stay lower. 93.1 again. 93.5. This one is like, what? It's like we got classical, which that would be super distant. Battling what kind of sounded like it could have been the Red Hot Chili Peppers. In that case, it could have been 93.5 Rocks from the Lake of the Ozarks area, which is what has left this tuner ID on here several weeks ago. There just hasn't been anything strong enough. But the country on 93.5 is like, I have no idea where that would be from. Like based on anything around here, it's like, no, there is no within 200-mile answer for country on 93.5 or classical. Amazing. This other one is talking. The country one. What was playing the country is talking. Or most likely was.
Facing a common challenge, then finding a solution and moving forward. We will ultimately prevail. Infinite diversity in infinite combinations.
It's an honor to talk to you, George Takei. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Live long and prosper.
I'll do that. That was cool. I'll try to. Jeez. Canadian mention on the 93.5 in that talking.
Money on something.
not get the ID there. Still super amazing.
You put together your own sale? The a la carte menu on Facebook page as well. .com, and then at 2 o'clock this afternoon, I'll tell you the story behind recording an album that really turned Black Sabbath into one of rock's biggest bands, the album Paranoid. Coming up on the Chronicles of Rocket, J.J. Wild. Next. I woke up.
CXY, I heard it. Holy cat. I heard a call sign for the first time today. CXY, that is definitely Canadian. Let us see if we can get what kind of tune ID we can get on this. If we can. And that tuner ID there is an old Big Dog one. A classic rock one. Or a classic rock plus new rock out of the Joplin area one. It's trying. It's trying. It's got to overwrite the tempo on CBC Music first. It's trying again. Holding.
Julia show and whatever.
Actually sounded like it may have said PXY. 98 PXY or CXY. I think we'll be able to find that one. Sure faded out fast there. How about 99.3? Haven't tried it all day. And my phone is about to run out of video recording space, so we're in bonus territory for what I can get on this video. That's interesting. There's some really bluesy stuff suddenly coming in. Like really bluesy. I was about to leave 99.3, but I would have missed this.
False preachers.
There is definitely still action going on. Got Queen, Somebody to Love. There's a chance this is 99.3 The Eagle out of Topeka. That's the only classic rock one I know even remotely close. But it's probably not. Check this out. Gonna try to go. We're gonna go to a different one again.
Listen on your radio, online at country935.ca or on the speaker app.
This is Country 93.5.
That .ca web address means that is confirmed Canadian one. Country 93.5 with a domain name of .ca as opposed to .us or whatever. I think the government has more control over the stations there. Confirmed Canadian, the country one on 93.5. And this classical one is so interesting. Also from a great distance, I just know it. Let's try the
Les
94.3.
stationaux de l'Auto-Québec sont de vrais incontournables.
Les vacances à Charlevoix?
Quebec Mansion.
J'imagine. Les baleines, les petits maraîchers. Les quoi? Les maraîchers? Je sais pas. Mais il y avait plein de produits locaux au restaurant Le Saint-Laurent. Une vue à... Il y a et toute une ambiance dans la zone de jeux interactifs. Donc, pas de baleine? Peut-être une, mais j'étais sur la tyrolienne du manoir, puis ça allait vite. Wow!
Découvrez l'Hôtel Casino de Charlevoix à la Malbaie. Un incontournable pour vos vacances. 18 ans en plus, oui, le jeu doit rester le jeu. Mes amis, il est temps de dire un dernier adieu aux anciennes règles de tri. Elles emportent dans le deuil tous nos doutes devant le bac de récupération.
C'est vrai que c'était mélangeant.
Maintenant, la règle, c'est contenant, emballage, imprimé.
Donc, je peux mettre ma bouteille d'huile?
Oui, contenant.
Mon papier d'aluminium?
Oui, emballage.
Les lettres d'amour de mon ex?
Imprimé.
Almost getting a full tuner ID here. It just has to push that tempo on CVC music aside.
C'est la méga vente d'électro chez Rona. Profitez des prix les plus agressifs de la saison et économisez plus en achetant plus. Obtenez 15% de rabais à l'achat de 3 électrocuisines, 10% de rabais à l'achat de 2. Besoin d'une buanderie? Obtenez 10% de rabais à l'achat d'une paire de laveuses sécheuses. Magasinez les meilleures marques. Samsung, LG, Whirlpool, Midea, GE et profitez toujours de la livraison gratuite chez Rona. Certaines conditions s'appliquent.
Encore un texto pour un colis que j'ai pas commandé. J'efface. Bon réflexe. Moi, ils se sont essayés. C'est passé. C'est incrédible. Et l'URL n'avait aucun sens. Avec les fraudeurs,
Plus the classic 94.3.
l'intelligence naturelle pour déjouer ça. Exact.
Les fraudes
And with a Quebec mention. A Quebec mention.
reconnaître et signaler les fraudes. Un combat numéro classique énergie. Le vainqueur au retour.
Découvrez les magnifiques îles des Açores. Cet archipel volcanique au cœur de l'Atlantique préserve des paysages coupés le souffle, une culture et une gastronomie savoureuse. Seulement 7 heures de vol de monture avec Azores Airlines. Voyagez à partir de $760 entre octobre 2025 et mars 2026. Pour profiter de cette offre unique, réservez sur le site web azoresairlines.pt. Les Açores, un coin de paradis facilement accessible avec Azores Airlines. Ça s'applique.
L'été festif et c'est tout droit au super avec 46 attractions Himalaya. Le nouveau parcours de sensations fortes est votre destination. 30 minutes de Montréal, dans les Laurentides.
Du 16 au 27 juillet, découvre Sans présentation. Montréal, en collaboration avec l'Auto-Québec. Des rodages de gala où les pros de
Another
stand-up
Quebec
du monde
mention.
n'ont pas besoin d'intro. Billets sur hahaha.com.
À Montréal. Avec Étienne Félix et un jeune chauffeur. Un automobiliste de 20 ans qui a été capté à 1200 km/h sur l'autoroute 40 Ouest vers 9 h. Il a perdu le contrôle avant même
I think this is a
le
different
conducteur de ce véhicule-là.
French one that's taken over here.
Son permis sur le champ et il pourrait être accusé de convocation pour le moins salée. Toujours dans la quarantaine qui a été atteint par balle sur le 11e rang vers 23 h hier soir. Les suspects qui ont fui en véhicule. Il y a une opération de ratissage qui a été menée, mais
Possibly
ils n'ont
still
pas
the same one.
été retrouvés. Actuellement dans un état stable des autorités. Le premier ministre présentement à 7e. Une importante annonce économique qui sera faite dans les prochaines minutes. L'aluminerie Alouette investirait jusqu'à $1 million dans la modernisation de ses installations. C'est une usine qui emploie quand même 900 travailleurs. La chanteuse canadienne Avril Lavigne sera la tête d'affiche du Festival d'été de Québec ce soir et sera précédée du groupe Simple Plan. Festivaliers qui doivent planifier actuellement leur déplacement parce qu'il y a une grève qui perturbe fortement le transport par autobus. Il y a une autre grève qui perturbe aussi le traversier de Québec-Lévis. Bref, si vous allez à Québec ce soir, planifiez vos déplacements. Et la Société
I
québécoise
think
du
it is the
cannabis
same
va
one, yes.
l'ouverture d'une vingtaine de succursales à travers le Québec, principalement dans la région de Montréal, pour contrer davantage de marchés illégaux. À compter du 3 août, l'horaire sera prolongé prolongée jusqu'à 22h du jeudi au samedi et jusqu'à 18h les dimanches.
Merci beaucoup, Étienne. Passe un beau week-end.
La même chose pour toi, mon cher.
On se retrouve lundi.
Avec grand plaisir.
Le combat des gros classiques Énergie. Énergie.
Dans moins de 30 minutes, Mike Gauthier sera là pour la dernière édition de la semaine de Stéréo Mike version 90 minutes.
I
Mais
think
Mike
that's
est
the
là le
time.
samedi et le dimanche également. 9h, Mike.
94.3
De l'excellent Mike Gauthier. Bon.
plus the classic
Classique
energy.
collectif. C'est une excellente tune, j'ai hâte.
I think that's the
Mais
time,
quand
the
Crystal affrontait Nirvana
more
avec
complete
Smell Like
name.
Teen Spirit, et, c'est ça, là. Il faut connaître son adversaire. Hein. Vraiment.
You got to take a screenshot of that 94,3. Got it. And they're doing Nirvana. Battling another French-speaking one. And the time's coming in perfectly. Jeez. See if we can isolate just one. He's still trying to isolate just one better. But, geez, this one. Classical on 96.3. This would be distant. This would be very distant. Springfield, Missouri, all of this. We still have a major event going on. Anything playing Eminem on 96.7 would be very distant from here. That I know of. There are super low power ones scattered around the country that could be playing this, that would be a lot close, like, you know, within 400 miles, but based on the profile of today, this is going to be far out. And we've got to, and this, we've had two on here battling that play the top 40 more kind of stuff. These are both very far out. Most based on the profile of the day. These are both going to be, yes, very far out.
I want you to know the facts. Don't be fossil fuel. Get the full picture at
Trying to find 90.
oilfacts.com.
Yeah, and there's been a contemporary Christian one on 92.7. Or inspirational type one. That also is far out. No ID on that puppy. Also been a pair of 93.1s. Trying to make it in.
1,000 kilometers to the south.
Speaking in kilometers, suspected Canada.
Currently burning. At the same time, there are
And this is probably that.
fires in neighboring Saskatchewan, with 5 communities under an evacuation order. A group of Canadian professionals looking to draw attention
Gaza. They've all been accepted to study at
This is
universities.
probably the one that was playing the
Forced to wait
classical.
out the war. Rafi Kukukanian has more.
Like so many other students, I become trapped with my dream.
The scholar for a master's at the University of Virginia awaits 26-year-old Mira if she can get out alive.
Every day there's people who
Yeah, definitely CBC News here.
The Federal Immigration Department approved her visa, but Ottawa says it can't do that while she's down in Gaza, where there are Palestinian officials fingerprint and photo identification tests. I mean, it's life or death for many of them.
Something else trying to take over with oldies.
Trying to come here have managed
That's so wild.
Egypt or Jordan, where they're still stranded. Rafi Bijikan, CBC News.
Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump is claiming an Israeli-Hamas ceasefire could be finalized at some point over the weekend. Harry reports.
Stepping off Air Force One, U.S. President Donald Trump said he expects a response from Hamas to the latest ceasefire proposal soon.
We'll see what happens. We're going to know over the next 24 hours.
Trump is urging Hamas to accept the deal, warning in a social media post this week if they don't, things will only get worse. Though in Gaza, conditions for civilians have for a long time now been appalling. Stefan Dujarric is a spokesperson for the UN Secretary General.
Multiple attacks in recent days hitting sites hosting displaced people and people trying to access food have killed and injured scores of Palestinians. The Secretary General condemns the loss of civilian life.
Israeli media reports under the new ceasefire proposal, Hamas will release living Israeli
Yeah, I wonder what's playing the white
There
snake.
also be talks on a permanent end to the war.
Could
which for
actually
now
be the
still
point
rages on.
94.1
CBC News, Tel Aviv.
Little Rock.
Out of the war in Ukraine, where Russia is escalating and launching attacks. Overnight, Kyiv was hit by more than 500 drones and nearly a dozen missiles. All this as the
Trying
Russian
to wait through the
president
national
showed
news
little, if
part,
any, interest
the
in a
Canadian
ceasefire.
national news. Maybe
NBC
they'll do
reports now
local
from
news.
London.
From dusk till dawn, the buzzing of drones and the popping of gunfire from air defense units trying to eliminate threats in the sky before they reach. Damage is reported across Kyiv, including a section of the Polish embassy. Mayor Vitaly Klitschko says more than 20 started after Russian President Vladimir Putin spoke on the phone to U.S. President Donald Trump.
I'm very disappointed. I'm just saying, I don't think he's looking to stop.
Poland's foreign minister is calling on the U.S. to restore supplies of anti-aircraft ammunition to Ukraine. Earlier this week, the Pentagon said low military stockpiles resulted in some weapon shipments. Crystal Gamansing, CBC News, London.
And that is the world this hour. For CBC News, I'm Joe Cummings.
Frederica Petithomme, choral concert.
You're hearing the great classics. You're also discovering composers, Canadian composers. You're listening to really popular ensembles and also the lesson choirs.
Join the chorus for 2 hours of choral concert. Sunday mornings starting at 9:30 in Newfoundland on CBC Music and anytime on the CBC Listen app.
This is Tempo, your classical companion.
Hello and welcome to Tempo if you're just tuning in. I'm Julie Mizrawa. Music's great.
Got a screenshot of that ID.
Well, that's basically the headline of the music you're about to hear next. When Carl Maria von Weber was writing his opera, Euryanthe, he had the misfortune of having a bad librettist, and it took him down. Because the storyline was
Okay,
done,
let's see what
he had a
else.
lot of stage time.
No specific idea of station, but I think we're going to be able to narrow this down.
Was
It sounds kind of like the Pogues, but they're singing in French. Try to get a better audio on here. You got something else French taking over. That was cool sounding though. Seeing if I can get better audio. Stop recording on here and start recording again. Wish I had done that earlier, but right now a lot of the action. Let's see if there's.
This is a film that anyone would have expected from Eva Victor. Social media videos like this one.
Oh my god. What do you mean, what street pride? Babe, you need to get online. Basically, street pride.
Trying to. Let's try the 96.7s again.
Pure Country.
Pure Country. It's definitely a fluid situation. How about this one way up here? Starship. That could be Lake of the Ozarks, Cool 102.7. This would be somewhere far away. This would be far away. Michael Jackson on 103.1. I'm going to turn the phone over to catch better audio.
103.1
Fresh Radio.
It's a pretty vague ID there. 1031 Fresh Radio. There may not be very many of them though. That KOFM is from about a month ago. 1031 Fresh Radio. That sucker's coming in so well. That was KJO 1055 from St. Joe, Missouri. Only semi-distant. How about Legends right here in Southwest Missouri?
You can hit the links in the morning. Plan your getaway at tryantigua.ca.
It's another Canadian one. Here to die. .ca.
Plane crashes, drug deals, terrorism, and even alleged acts of Satan. That's just the start. Search for and follow Uncharted Crime and Mayhem in the Music Industry on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Toronto's Rock Station. Holy cats. Could barely hear it, but... And now they're going into Soundgarden's Black Hole Sun. But that was Toronto's Rock Station. ID. And I've got a high quality audio recording of it. You can see recording up there in the corner. Toronto's Rock Station on 107.1. Holy cats.
But after they tied the knot, threw away her professional aspirations, as ladies of that era were expected to do. But instead,
Still got the Canadian
she took
stuff
over
here.
her husband's career. Nadezhda was a top critic when it came to her hubby's music. She influenced what he wrote and how he wrote.
We have just had confirmed Toronto.